All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest on for tonight's interview. I won't waste any time. Please tell us your name and a little bit about your project. Thanks for having me on. My name is Edwin Hubble, and I'm an American astronomer. Originally, everyone thought that the universe was just static, but I was able to prove that the universe is not static and is actually expanding. What were you guys trying to do or find? We were originally trying to classify celestial objects and measure distances, but the work of Vesto Slipher at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona caught my attention. Slipher was able to show that some nebulae were moving away from us. I took this one step further and found the velocities of 46 other galaxies. I saw that most of the galaxies were redshifted, meaning that they're moving away from us. Some of the galaxies were blue shifted, meaning that they're moving toward us. It was interesting that the further the galaxy was, the faster its velocity was. So the further away, the faster it moves away, or the faster it moves closer. This relationship is known as Hubble's law. And because most galaxies are moving away from us, the only conclusion that we can draw from this is that the universe is expanding. Okay, that sounds awesome. Where did the project/experiment occur? After I gained my doctorate in astronomy, I was given the opportunity to work at Mount Wilson Observatory in 1919. Luckily for me, just when I joined is when they installed the new 100-inch Hooker telescope, which at the time was the most powerful in the world. This was the telescope I used for my findings, and I plan on staying here at the Mount Wilson Observatory for the rest of my life. What other significant events were happening around the world at the time? Hubble's law came into fruition in 1929. This was just 10 years after I joined the Mount Wilson Observatory and just 10 years after the end of World War I. My paper over the expanding universe was published on March 1929. Just 7 months after I published my paper, the stock market crashed and there was a wave of bank failures. This marked the beginning of the Great Depression. Yeah, the Great Depression. We all know about the Great Depression. Who else was involved in the project? I would not have been able to confirm Hubble's law without my assistant, Milton Humison. His technical expertise and observations were very important for Hubble's law. As I mentioned earlier, Vesto Slipher was the first to discover the redshift in galaxies. This was the foundations of my discoveries, and I would not have been able to do without him. What was your role in the project? I was the lead astronomer in the project. I just saw that one coming. What impact did your project have on the physics community? The funny thing is that more than 10 years before the discovery of the expanding universe, Einstein had predicted the expanding universe according to his equations. But because at the time everyone thought that the universe was static, he altered his equations to work in a static universe. But ever since the discovery of the expanding universe, he changed his equations back to what he had to confirm what he had previously thought. The expanding universe also laid the foundations for the Big Bang Theory. Can you explain in a little more detail about light redshifting? I'm not supposed to tell you this, but my son is a time traveler. And he went in the future and gave me this weird object called an iPhone. I'm not sure how it works, but I asked him to pull a picture up of the visible spectrum. According to the visible spectrum, I think you can see it, the redder a color, the longer its wavelength. The bluer a color, the shorter its wavelength. As a galaxy is moving away from us, the light we see from it is getting stretched by the universe, giving it a red color, or a redder color. redshifting the galaxy. If the galaxy is moving toward us, the light that is emitted from it is compressed, blue shifting the galaxy. Thank you so much for coming on tonight's interview. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I know it's July, but I just love Christmas so much.